Cyborg USA, Cyborg USA. They got the skills to pay the bills and help the president along the way. Cyborg USA, Cyborg USA. They got street smarts and lots of hearts, and they made it robotic ways. They all died in a train crash, and their bodies were torn apart. Resurrected by Hunter Rick. Now they are a brand new start. Yeah, Cyborg USA. Cyborg USA. They got the skills to pay the bills. They do our will designed to kill. And they made it good. USA, USA, USA.
Friends, Romans, countrymen, lend me your ear, because the Cyborg USA theme song means only one thing: that you've got your dial set to the Splendopia Hour live. It's the hottest 60 minutes of programming today, dedicated to all things on the independent comic book scene. Now, we've got two great guests for you today. First up, we'll be speaking with the writer and creator of GRAYSKALE. Welcome to Glitter City, Michael Derrick. Then we're going to bring out the writer and creator of Slaughter Squad, Joseph King. Me, I'm Anton Belvedere, here to keep it spinning round. But now let me send it to the host with the most, the man who's going to turn your frown upside down, the guy who's going to dive down deep into the ocean of comic books and drag up from the depths all the treasures that you've got to see, broadcasting live in stereo sound and Technicolor. It's Robert C. Casey. Hit his music.
Hey, it's me. I'm back.
Rob, you look great.
You too, man. You too. Thanks, Anton. Thanks for bringing me in.
Oh,
wow.
Pleasure to see you.
Let's see how we're doing. Oh, everybody says, Hail Splendopia. We got one man in the chat. That's
Hail
pretty good.
Splendopia.
Pretty good so far.
Hail Splendopia. Looks beautiful out there.
Oh, yeah.
Right outside the Splendopia Studios.
That's right. That's Splendopia Studios.
Wow.
Doing great. Doing great. So today we're going to bring on some guests. We're going to bring on Michael Derrick to talk about GRAYSKALE.
I'm very excited.
Yeah. He wrote a book called The Abductables, which this guy, Ibai Canales, drew. It was like one of the first comics that I got through these like Comicsgate crowdfundings. And it was like my favorite book. So I'm going to add him to the stream. Do you want to give him a little shout out, or I guess you gave him one already?
We already gave him a shout out, but let's bring him out. The creator,
right, there we go.
King of Karma, GRAYSKALE. Here's Michael Derrick.
How's that?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Pretty
I
good,
feel
man.
like I need to raise my usual energy levels thanks to Anton. You know, I don't want to bring the stream down. Usually I'm pretty mellow.
No, he can do. He'll be like at his own level, and we can be like at our level.
It's live television, everybody. Live
like
TV.
Kickback. So when I was promoting Cyborg USA, I got on your channel, and now that I decided to start doing like comic book promos, I wanted to like return the favor and have you back on for GRAYSKALE and talk about it, about how it's going, and talk about it to hopefully some audience that hasn't seen it or hasn't backed it yet.
Yeah, definitely, and I do appreciate that. I had a great time talking to you on my channel way back when. I feel like I need to start doing those interviews again. You know, maybe I feel kind of inspired. I like what you're doing here. It's very it's more professional than the usual live streams. You know,
it only seems that way because of Anton.
No, Rob. It's you. It's the energy. It's your comic book knowledge.
It's a cigar. It's a cigar.
It's a cigar. Probably the cigar most of all.
See, you used to have the American flag gimmick. Now you got the cigar gimmick. So I need a gimmick. I feel like, you know, I ever since I started showing my face on stream, I feel like I need to like get a wig or something, you know, just some kind of crazy gimmick to make me stand out from the rest. But
I don't think anybody needs a gimmick. I'm saying this is a man who's wearing sunglasses and a bandana of the Alaska flag and smoking a cigar.
You know, gimmicks make it seem like it's a costume, though, and that's what you wear when you go to the coffee shop.
This actually is what I wear. That's true. That's true, Anton.
You just got to be yourself.
Yeah, it's either this or a hoodie. So,
yeah.
Or a prison jumpsuit.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's a good one.
So let me see. You know, I haven't done too many of these shows, so I'm going to see how like we get into this. I want to bring up GRAYSKALE and talk about the perks and stuff. And you said there's like some new sketch card perks, right?
Yeah, I've been rolling out sketch card perks the last few days. We got a few more to announce, but we actually just sold one today. But we also have two other ones. These sketch card perks, they're by all your favorite CG artists, and they come with copies of the book and the ash can, so and free shipping. So I think it's a great deal if people have still been on the fence about getting the book. I think this is a great incentive. I know a lot of times when people have sketch card perks on their Indiegogo, they kind of just sell them by themselves. To me, at the end of the day, all I really want to do is sell the comic. So I felt like it was important to include the comic and the ash can along with the sketch cards. So yeah, as you can see there, we got sketch cards by Jeff Lasley and Doodle Bags, and the one that we sold today actually was from Joe Ball, the legendary superhero artist Joe Ball. So,
yep, I love Joe Ball. Joe Ball is great.
So these are artists that were not necessarily involved with the actual comic. Did some sketch cards for you?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just completely outside of the project. You know, they're definitely familiar to people in the Comicsgate realm. So I definitely wanted to get some well-known names, at least in our little indie community. So
yeah, so Anton, a lot of times these campaigns will do that. They'll have artists do these sketch cards that I guess they insert and charge a little bit extra, and it's a way for the campaign to just like raise a little bit more money and for the artists to like get a little bit more work. That's pretty much it, right?
Yeah. And that's not something I did on my last campaign, so this is like a new experiment for me, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I've seen other campaigns do it to great success, so I figured I'd try my hand at it, and it's definitely paid off so far because we already sold one, and things had kind of slowed down a little bit after we switched to in demand. So I wanted to kind of inject some new life into the campaign, get people excited again. So sketch cards seem like the way to go.
So you've been in demand, like is it like a month? I'm not sure exactly. I guess
probably about 2 months at this point. We launched the campaign in January 27th, so it's been open for a while. And we're going to keep the in-demand store open throughout the production of the book, which is going very very well, by the way. Our artist PK, he's very very fast, and he's cranking out pages at an astonishing rate. So we're definitely on track to get this book delivered by our due date.
Well, cool. I saw one of the pinups is by Cyborg USA artist Pablo Romero.
Oh, yes, I'm a big Pablo Romero fan. And let me just say, if I can kiss the host's ass a little bit, great job on Cyborg USA. I really enjoyed the book.
Thank you.
And if I didn't, I just wouldn't have brought it up. But I really enjoyed it. As far as like the crowdfunding books that I've gotten, it's one of the ones that I enjoyed the most. It really felt like a fun like throwback to like the George Perez era, but with like a modern spin. So it didn't feel like pure nostalgia. It felt new and refreshing. So
yeah, I mean, I think one of the things that makes it kind of new is that like the tone is a little bit more like adult or whatever, more graphic.
Yeah, and I thought that was kind of like a nice contrast because from the art and the concept, you might think that they're going to be talking like Archie Comics characters, like, oh, we're all happy-go-lucky, but no, they actually had some edge to them, and I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I mean, our idea is to play them as real 20-year-olds or whatever. But I appreciate you saying that. I know like you wouldn't say it if you didn't mean it, but
that's high praise.
It's really nice to hear. So
and as you can see, I mean, you made the right choice with Pablo Romero on Cyborg USA. I'm a big fan of his work. He's got his style is like reminiscent of old comics, but it's unique. It's not like a pastiche of what came before. It just evokes that older era, but and here I commissioned him to do a pinup of one of our characters in Grayscale. Her name is Phantasmagoria. She's actually one of Grayscale's villains, and she creates swirling psychedelic hallucinations that she uses to attack people. So and Pablo, he's well known for drawing the ladies, so he seemed like the right man for the job as far as drawing this particular character. And that will actually be one of our stretch goals. It'll be a print poster if we reach I believe it's 10,000, but yeah.
with Pablo, like his art is very attractive to me. And when I say attractive, I mean like I'm really drawn to it. So like whenever I see somebody,
I wonder why, Robert.
Well, no, I mean it's not just because he did my book. Like in addition to that, it's
kind of because they're sexy ladies.
Well, that's true too. I guess that has a lot to do with it. Anton reading between the lines, I suppose. But I think, well, so we're not going to be able to have Pablo on our next couple books. So we're going to have to find an artist that I'm like as passionate about as Pablo. So that just a shout out to the audience. If you, if you feel like you're interested in suggesting somebody for Cyborg USA 3 and 4, my DMs are open. So, but let me get back to Grayscale. Like, can you just like run through the plot for, I think Anton doesn't know.
Yeah, scroll down on the Indiegogo page, Robert. If we can cover the characters on the cover would be interesting. Okay. And then we can talk a little bit about Glitter City.
Did you mean down or up?
I think I don't know where the hell you are.
Man, the main image it kind of has a bunch of different characters on it.
Yeah, that's cover. Is that the cover? We'd say, yeah, go all the way up there. Yeah. Keep going.
Yep.
Yeah, there's Glitter City.
Yeah, there's the cover art.
There you go.
There you go.
Yeah, so kind of in the same way, Cyborg USA takes inspiration from like the 1980s George Perez era of comics. We're with Grayscale, we're kind of taking inspiration from the Image era of edgy anti-hero 1990s comics. I'm a big Todd McFarlane fan, and so this was kind of my take on the edgy anti-hero of the 1990s, though, like with Cyborg USA, kind of put a modern twist on it. Basically, our hero is able to see and in some cases manipulate the forces of karma. That is his superpower. And, I always thought that would be kind of a cool superpower for a character to have. And I think it contrasts nicely with his kind of street level attitude. He's, if you're a fan of like Moon Knight or Daredevil, he's kind of got that vibe where he's just down in the dirt on the city streets, cracking skulls. But he also has that ace trump card. He can cash in karma at any time. So we're gonna definitely play up that power and kind of explore what that actually means to use karma as a superpower. And in the process, we're going to meet a lot of crazy characters. He is a superhero, but he's not the only superpowered character in his universe. So he's got a lot of crazy supervillains that he's going to have to battle. And it's going to be 60 pages of pure action and adventure and craziness. So I think hopefully people really enjoy it. We just got a whole bunch of new pages in from our artist. And man, I'm very excited for people to see this book.
Can you give us an example of what does it mean to harness the power of karma?
Yeah, definitely. So the main way that he uses karma is he can actually see people's individual karma. So if you're like a really bad guy, he can actually see the dark aura surrounding you. It's kind of karma in this series is kind of represented as like an energy field. So the bad guys, the more evil you are, the more horrible things you've done in your life, the darker, more sinister your karma aura is going to be. And likewise, if you're a pretty good guy, kind of do a lot of good deeds, you're going to have a nice, bright, happy, almost angelic karma. So he uses that to find the bad guys, and in that sense, he's a very proactive hero. He doesn't have to wait for, there's a robbery in progress. Like, he can actually seek out the bad guys. Even if they're not even committing a crime at the moment, he could just seek them out and crack their skull right then and there. And that's another thing we're going to play up is is he a hero or is he an anti-hero? Because sometimes he kind of maybe crosses the line a little bit, takes things a little bit too far. And, he is the shade of gray in a world of black and white. So we're going to see him kind of pitted up against these moral quandaries, and it'll be pretty interesting to see what choices he makes in any given situation.
Right. Almost like that Spawn character from Todd McFarlane.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And, it's funny because you would think karma as a superpower would have been done before, but it really hasn't. At least it hasn't been done so literally as this. There's been other characters that kind of have karma-esque powers like Ghost Rider. He has his penance stare, and like you said, Spawn. He kind of see in a similar way. He kind of seeks out the bad guys. But as far as like having karma as a literal superpower, I think we're treading new ground here, and it's going to be pretty interesting to see.
Well, does karma? So is he aided by it? Does it enhance him? Is he able to tip the scales of it, or is it like just like a detector? You know what I mean?
Like he finds the wallet and gives it back. That gives him strength. But if he keeps the wallet, he loses strength.
So his own karma is kind of in a stasis. You know, it doesn't. He can't manipulate his own karma, only other people's karma. But so the main way he uses karma is to, you know, find the bad guys, but he does have a kind of an ultimate technique where not only can he see people's karma, but he can actually cash in their karma on the spot. So you know, if he chooses to, and he's facing a bad guy and things aren't going his way, he has kind of an ace in the hole where he calls it instant karma. And he cashes in their bad karma, and it causes them instant misfortune right then and there, in proportion to their evil deeds. So the more evil they are, the more horrific a punishment they're going to get. And, you know, as you can imagine, there's going to be some pretty interesting ways that plays out.
Right. I love that instant karma. Oof.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's kind of a meme, but, you know, he uses it as a kind of his finishing move. So, you know, but that's not an easy thing for him to do. So it really is kind of his last resort technique. And, you know, he because he does have these karma powers, but he's kind of new in his superhero career. He's fairly new to receiving his powers. He's still learning a lot. So at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, he's kind of he has to rely on his, you know, his physical attributes, and he is just a normal flesh and blood guy underneath the mask and the armor. So like I said, he is kind of a street level hero in that regard, where, you know, he's just a really well trained guy who is going out there fighting the bad guys, and he's not going to have an easy time. He has a habit of getting his ass kicked a lot, but, you know, we'll see how he does against the crazy supervillains.
So I can tell, like, from the pages and from like your last book and stuff, this book is like violent and funny and like sexy and like irreverent.
Very sexy.
Yeah, this is like it's like a really fun tone and a cool idea. So
thank you.
I'm excited for you. It looks like we have, like, for the perks, you've got the physical copy still available.
Yeah, that's kind of our main. If you just want the book, that's the perk for you. It's the 60-page comic, and it does come with the digital copy as well.
Okay, or you could just get the digital copy, I guess.
Yep.
And then 2 physical copies with this young lady.
Yes, and all these copies are signed by me. So if you want one to read and one to keep bagged and boarded, they all do come bagged and boarded and shipped in Gemini mailers. You know, go for the 2 physical copies. That way you can have one to collect or give out as a gift or sell, you know, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, for $25, that's a great value for 2 copies.
Yeah,
sure.
It's discounted. And same thing with the bulk order. If you want multiple copies at a huge discount, you can get that. And for the bulk order, we do have free domestic shipping. So it's a pretty great deal.
And then there's the sketch cards. So you still have one Jeff Lasley sketch card?
Yes, I'm a big, I don't know if you're familiar with him. I'm a big Jeff Lasley fan. I think his highest profile book to date was Lone Wolf. That was a crowdfunded book from a while ago, but Jeff Lasley, he kind of, he gives me kind of Frank Frazetta vibes. Like he's very underrated, and I just love his art style. And I've been a big fan of his since I joined Twitter back in 2018. He's kind of a undiscovered talent in a way. Like I don't think he gives himself enough credit with how good he is, because I definitely recommend people check him out on Twitter. I said he reminds me of Frank Frazetta just because, you know, not only does he draw like beautiful women, but he also draws these like horrific monsters, and he has like a really like painted style. It's very unique, and he actually did a painted portrait of the Abductables. I won a contest from Wicked Publishing, and that's kind of my prized possession. I don't really have a lot of original art, but I do have that, and so I'm a big Jeff Lasley fan.
It's very cool. I like this the look of the sketch. So definitely go for that. I also love Doodle Bags. I guess he's doing the new Vestige book, right?
Yep. Yeah, he is. Again, talk about undiscovered talent. I mean, it's good. I'm so happy that the War Campaign guys kind of scooped him up for Vestige 2, because it always blows my mind how there's these artists that are so incredibly talented and they haven't really I mean, I guess it's kind of a condemnation of the mainstream that these guys haven't been picked up for Marvel or DC, because I would definitely put Doodle Bags in that category. Like as you can see there, he's kind of got a cartoonier style, I guess you could say, but very unique. He almost he kind of reminds me of Ed McGuinness in a way. Like his characters are very they got a weight to them, it's cartoony, but they have weight to them. So yeah, Doodle Bags.
So he was when I did Drawn and Backhold for Cyborg USA on War Campaign. He was one of the artists, and he got my vote for the drawing he did. I think that maybe just he's fairly young, and I guess where you live makes a big difference too. Like if you live in New York or LA, it's easier to get their attention at Marvel probably, but who knows?
Yeah, but I'm definitely looking forward to his work on Vestige 2. I think they're pretty far into that already from what I've heard. So
they made a great call.
Yeah, he's gonna be a star when that book comes out for sure.
That's great, man.
Who are some of the other characters on the cover? I see we've got Phantasma.
Yeah, Phantasmagoria. Yeah, and so if you want to scroll up,
Rob,
I can
the cover
up the room.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
And these are a mixture of the villains and the good guys, or
so this is our cover art.
Love the look of Glitter City too, I gotta say.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and
this is what we want to see, right? Or no?
Yes. Yeah, the cover there, right there, Robbie.
Yeah, so this is our cover art, and we did a cool thing where the good guys are on one side and the bad guys are on the other, and that kind of plays into the whole theme of duality, good and evil, with grayscale in the middle as the shade of gray. As I mentioned earlier, we got Phantasmagoria, and then the other two villain characters on the far left, we have Repo, who's probably my favorite villain. He's actually I describe him as the Grim Reaper on steroids. He's basically a big, giant, hulking monstrosity who wields a chain scythe. And he's kind of like, if you're familiar with Batman comics, he's kind of like a mix between Solomon Grundy and, from Marvel, maybe a bit of the Hulk. But his gimmick is that he moonlights as a debt collector for the Glitter City mob. So, he comes to claim your soul, quite literally, if you owe the wrong people money. In the book, not to give too much away, but let's just say in Grayscale's line of business, being a superhero who gets into meddles in the bad guys' affairs, it makes them none too pleased. So one of those guys actually puts a hit out on Grayscale and hires Repo to take him out. And one of the awesome things in the book will be a huge fight between Grayscale and Repo. And Rob, if you want to scroll down a little bit, we actually have a Donald DeLay piece. Speaking of Vestige, the original Vestige artist Donald DeLay, he did a badass pinup of Grayscale fighting Repo that I'm really, really happy with.
I see on that where it's sold out. The original art, it's farther down here.
Yeah. So we sold the original art, and then we had our colorist color the pinup. Yeah, right there. So that kind of gives you a sense of the raw power of Repo. He's just this huge monstrosity, and nice. It'll be interesting to see, because again, like I said, Grayscale, he is just flesh and blood, and while he does have the power to see and in some cases manipulate karma, that only gets him so far. When you have a giant hulking guy just beating the ever loving crap out of you. So he's going to have his work cut out for him fighting the big man.
I was thinking, has no good karma. No good karma.
Well, that's another thing is obviously he goes after the bad guys, but again, it's all about proportion. So the more evil you are, the worse your punishment's going to be. But I mean, if you're not as evil as other people, you know, your punishment might not be enough to get the job done. So we'll see how that plays out as well.
Yeah, I'm just picturing some sweet little old lady with like this big black karma aura around her. She looks sweet, but really like she's parking in the handicap spot, doesn't have a plaque. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah, so
sampling grapes at the grocery store, you know, like.
Yeah, he knows people's true intentions, you know, and that definitely helps him out, you know. And we play into that as well. Like looks can be deceiving, you know. Certain people to the public, they might present a happy face, but you know, in the background, they've got some dark secrets in the closet. So you know, we're definitely gonna explore that as well.
Everybody's got skeletons.
Yes.
So I was thinking today, like, you know, like my book is like a team book, and I like team action adventure books, but probably my favorite kind of comic book is like the lone vigilante, like Ghost Rider, you know, like kind of searching for vengeance, Deathlock, Batman,
Punisher.
Daredevil. Yeah.
I love those kinds of
to me.
characters. Yeah, and you know, I'm a big fan of that kind of, you know, archetype as well. But you know, I did want to do something a little different. So, you know, when you think of that dark vigilante, that lone wolf that kind of, you know, hunts down the bad guys, you always kind of think of him as kind of this grim, kind of stoic guy. So I kind of wanted to go a different direction and actually have Grayscale have kind of an attitude, kind of he likes to crack jokes. He likes to he like kind of in the way Spider-Man does it, where he kind of, you know, taunts his enemies as he fights them. He likes to roast them, and you know, he likes to run his mouth. So I think that's a nice contrast too with the you know, he does inhabit that grim vigilante character, but he also has a sense of humor as well.
Yep.
A dark sense of humor.
I think that's awesome. I'm really excited about this book. I'm excited. We're having you on. We have another guest coming, but he hasn't come into the room yet. So maybe. Well,
let's talk about some of the guys on Grayscale. Who are the good guys? We've got some old guy. He's the producer.
Yeah.
I'm guessing producer maybe, or
yeah. So going back to the cover with the good guys on the right side.
Yeah.
So the old guy in question, he's kind of the mentor character to Grayscale. He kind of plays into who Grayscale is outside of underneath the mask. You know, what does he do when he's not beating up the bad guys? So the old man, we call him Charteris. He's kind of the master splinter to Grayscale's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You know, he's the mentor. He's kind of the guy that taught him everything he knows, but in a very interesting way. And Charteris has a very mysterious past that we're going to kind of, you know, we don't want to reveal too much, you know, who he is and his dynamic with Grayscale. That's kind of something that's going to be played out across multiple books, but we definitely hint at how they met in this first book, and you know, it's tied directly into Grayscale's origin story. So you know, it'll be very interesting to peel back those layers and reveal certain things to people.
Yeah, I love the Splinter character.
Yeah, and he's kind of the Splinter character mixed with he's like a lazy version of Alfred, the butler for Bruce Wayne.
Nice.
You know?
Nice.
Like you know, he spends most of his time in their underground hideout, just watching TV and eating junk food, and you know, he's kind of enjoying early retirement while Grayscale goes out there and you know, risks his life.
Does he have superpowers himself? Any powers himself, or no? Or we don't want to give it away?
I don't know if I want to give that away. Yeah, that's
push. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Let's just say his power might be what he knows and what he chooses to reveal to our hero. Yeah, he's an interesting guy though. His dynamic with Grayscale is pretty fun. You know, they like to bust each other's chops, and you know, it's not the usual. Like, he's not you know, like I said, since Grayscale is kind of an irreverent character, he's not like, you know, even though Charteris taught him everything he knows, and you know, deep down he really does look up to the guy. He doesn't really show it as much as he should. So he likes to they like to bust each other's chops, and you know, it's a pretty fun dynamic. And then, of course, we have the love interest there. Her name is Felicity. She is the love interest who also plays a big role in The Secret Identity of Grayscale. If I didn't make that obvious, the guy with the gray hair on the right side, that is what Grayscale looks like underneath his mask.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a young guy who looks older than he should due to a hard life lived. Yeah, he's got the scar and the gray hair. So as you can imagine, he's seen some things, and that again, that is tied into his powers. And so it will definitely. I think there's a really nice balance between his crime fighting career and kind of what he does on his off time, and it's all connected. So,
well, looks beautiful. Love that stylized K too. Rob, you know what the K stands for?
What?
Karma.
Of course, karma.
Yes.
Naturally.
Come on.
Yeah, naturally. The chick looks like in that picture looks like a blonde Terry Hatcher to me.
The lovely young lady.
That's what I was trying to figure out. I'm not supposed to say chicks anymore.
Right.
Is that what you're saying?
The lovely young lady on the cover.
Yeah.
Yes.
You
Yeah.
don't want the PC police coming in here. You don't want the PC police coming in. It's
bring
only
them,
episode 2.
Bring them on. I'll take every one of them.
Controversy.
Yeah. Well, so the other guest we're gonna have on is Joe King, who's promoting Slaughter Squad. I think right now Slaughter Squad. I'm gonna pop it up in my other page.
That's a fun looking book, Slaughter Squad.
It is, and there's
the same thing.
There's an awesome trailer for it on this. I think.
Can you play the video, Rob?
I think I can. I don't know if I enabled the video. Is the audio playing?
No.
No. Okay. All right. I have to do it again.
Is Joseph King in the back room?
Nope. I don't see him yet. So maybe he's on the East Coast or the West Coast. I mean, maybe there was a time zone mix-up.
Well, we shouldn't talk about his project yet until he's here. We still got Michael Derrick's books to sell.
Well, that's true. That's true.
I got a question for you, Michael. Here, hit me with this one. You said one of your favorite. You love the anti-hero, right?
Mm-hmm.
Who's your least favorite comic book character?
Ooh, I guess the standard answer should be something like Squirrel Girl or America Chavez or you know what? I'll choose a new one. Safe Space. Not a fan of Safe Space. You know, I don't know, Anton, if you've heard of that. That was kind of a mainstream story. Marvel released a bunch of new characters that people kind of made fun of. One of them was called Safe Space. What were the other ones, Rob? Do you remember?
Snowflake and
Safe Space. Yeah.
I see what we're doing here.
You can see what they were going for. And kind of even the mainstream media was kind of having a field day making fun of Marvel for that. So it was pretty funny. But yeah.
Anton, did you look at the picture, or I was going to call it up for you?
Of Slaughter Squad or
Safe Space? Yeah,
I did not. Can you pull it up?
Yeah, I'm working on it right now.
You have the power. That unfortunately, as the host, they give you all the legwork. I guess I should.
Well, that's why I have you. You can vamp for me and ask Michael questions that would not occur to me.
Right. I guess we got some time. We should tell everybody. Also, you can check out Indiegogo and check out all the news on Grayscale. You saw the tiers. Don't forget, Michael Derrick's on Twitter, right? At Cauldron Comics.
Yep. I'm on there quite a bit. So that's definitely the best place for people to reach me. If you have any questions about the campaign or, anything else, feel free to reach out. I love following people in the comics community, and definitely hit me up there.
Right. Excellent. Oh, this is
you see that
twins. Oh my God. They're like gender fluid something. Yeah, non-binary.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think they're brother and sister or something like that. And they're like, it's really weird. It's really weird. The guy that wrote it he's like a Daily Show writer. So it's sort of like I think it's like a joke, but it's like a joke that they believe in.
Yeah, I feel like that's the worst part of it all is like they weren't trying to be funny. Like you know, because if you watch the interview he gave when they debuted these characters, he's talking about, you know, the snowflake and safe space. These are derogatory terms, but we want to take them back and you know, make them, you know, reclaim them so that, you know, they're a heroic thing. It's okay to be a snowflake. It's okay to want to be in a safe space.
Yeah, a safe space is a strong place.
Yes,
a heroic place. I'm going to show you guys something. This is a little irregular, but I've got these like Canada geese in my backyard.
Oh, wonderful!
Feeding their chicks.
Now that's a proper use of the word chick.
That
okay. One works. That one works, Rob.
Oh, I guess they're all hustling away. But that's
of course you have that effect on animals.
I don't know. I thought they were going to stay, but
what's the opposite of Dr. Doolittle? That's
my wife says I'm like Snow White out here in the backyard with all the animals.
With the birds flying to you, fixing your wedding dress.
Yeah, exactly.
I hope you have some bear mace nearby. I feel like you're at risk of just a bear just coming out of nowhere and attacking you.
There's no bears out here. There's nothing here that's stronger than me.
Famous last words.
It's a low
Sasquatch sightings or anything?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Damn.
But they're covering them up, they say. Well, so you don't think I should play you don't think I should play it? I should see. He's just.
I mean, you can play.
You know, I just feel like
still entertained. Like, yeah,
maybe there's
man, we'd love to get Michael's opinion on it.
Maybe there's a miscommunication. So you know, I want to at least like give him the video.
Definitely, if you can figure out the video.
I'm terrible at this live streaming stuff. I'm not sure that I'm cut out for it. Let's try to do it.
Doing great.
We need a PA. We need a production assistant.
Can
we get an intern?
Absolutely.
Oh, let's get an intern.
That is the next order of business for the Splendopia hour.
Yeah.
So sorry, I had it open and then I closed it because I didn't have the audio. Now I'm going to open it again.
It is an interesting story.
Yeah, it's very cool. And so he's also an animator. So he animated this great video and he's been working really hard on it. He launched this campaign a little while ago, but didn't raise enough for it. And he's relaunching in May. So that's very cool. And
I'm interested to get Michael's take on it. You know, Michael, you're down in Austin, right?
Yes.
What are you going to think about it when this team of escaped livestock attempt to take over Texas? I mean, is this just another Californian attacking the great state of Texas? Is that what
it's vegan propaganda?
Right? Unbelievable.
Could be. That's interesting.
Mondays.
Right now, get Slaughter Squad Volume 1.
All right, there you
A
go.
double feature, including the first 2 parts in an 8-part series. Thanks, everybody.
So that was the actual coloring. Okay, here we go.
You sure you want to go back in there? A bull's gotta do what a bull's gotta do. Eat hot lead, suckers! Huh? What? Mess with the bull, get the horns! Shit just got real. Who the hell are you? I'm 100% Psycho Beefcake. Think you can handle it, Susie? Fuck you, asshole. Fuck you, asshole! Your horns are strong. That's what she said. Why would she say that? Let's burn this motherfucker. Hell yeah. Your mama would be proud. Mama. Kilgore. You're dead meat.
There you go.
There you have it.
If that doesn't sell you, I don't know what will. I mean,
Yeah.
I think Slaughter Squad is a perfect example of, you just gotta, the timing's got to be right. There's a little bit of luck involved, but if that got in front of the right people at the right time, I mean, that video alone should be like a viral video. That should have 1 million views. And I feel the same way for the comic. If hopefully he has better luck with the relaunch, because I feel like that this book should be a hit. It just might, for whatever reason, it might not have gotten in front of the right eyes the first time around. But I mean, that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, I definitely think that's true. That's why I wanted to get him on here, but we'll get him on here next time. Do you want? There's one thing I want to talk to you about, the controversy about the Red Rooster thing. I just wanted to say my piece about it, because I backed Red Rooster, but I after I fulfilled Cyborg USA, I went back and there was 8 projects that I was I'm not sure these are getting fulfilled. It's been over a year, so I'm going to see about getting a refund. And one guy who had 2 of the projects got back to me. The other people did not get back to me, but the one who did get back to me was Elizabeth, and she gave me the refund right away. And I feel like the fact that they set up this deal with Walmart to get books out to people before the backers is not awesome, because the strength of the backers is what got them the deal. At the same time, it's hard not to be happy for their success, and I feel that as well. So
yeah, I feel a similar way. It's really hard to not like the Brightwisers. They seem like such nice people, which makes this whole situation even worse, because I don't want to talk bad about them, but at the same time, it's even just for their own sake, it just wasn't good business, because I mean, I'm assuming most of the delays for the book, because Red Rooster, this book launched on Indiegogo in 2018. It's still not even close to being fulfilled based on the updates, and it seems like they used the money that they got for the Indiegogo. That was a 6-figure campaign. It seems like they used that to leverage their Walmart deal, which regardless, I'm a backer of Red Rooster too. Obviously, I'm not happy with this. Is it great for comics that they're putting their books in Walmart? In theory, yes, but I feel like the whole as long as we get comics in front of people, they'll buy them. I don't think that's necessarily true. Especially they have the standee, and it's in the kids section, the toy section at Walmart.
Yeah.
Do kids really want to read a comic book about Bass Reeves? I mean, right. I feel like it's it's the wrong audience, and I comics in more places the better, but it shouldn't have come at the expense of the people who put their faith in them back in 2018. And I'm not happy about it. And just for their own sake, it was bad business, because now they've burned a whole audience that really had their back, and they could have been on their 3rd 6-figure campaign at this point.
Well, I think that's one thing that's really hard, because so you see them set up the standee. I know Anton, you don't exactly know what we're talking about. So
I'm doing some quicker research.
Okay. So if you have any questions, we can catch up to speed. But basically, they crowdfunded a project called Red Rooster. For a long time, it wasn't fulfilled. I think because of their geography and their connections and some other things, and just the timing, they were able to work out this deal to sell comic books at Walmart, which is a pretty rare thing.
Right.
so it's like, it's interesting. Some people say they used the money to start the company. I don't think that that's exactly true. The way that you said it, Michael, is more accurate. They leveraged the money that they had raised in the crowdfunding to demonstrate that they had an audience, you know, for this book. But then, like in the standee that they show, they don't show that red rooster at the bottom because they know that. I mean, they know that people are going to be upset that they're not getting their book. They have to go to Walmart to get their book before the book that they crowdfunded. And maybe they could have sent the floppies to people, something like that. I mean, maybe there's a way to solve it. I feel like it's just such a weird situation because it's not like it's a no-win situation. They put themselves in a no-win situation by pursuing an opportunity that was ultimately not going to be the best for their backers. But it was good for them, you know?
Yeah, but to me, it wasn't good for them either. I feel, and that's what really sucks is, like I said, since I like the Brightwisers, it sucks that I feel like they made a bad business decision in this case because, you know, this has been the story in comics like since like the 90s, like or like post 90s, like post industry collapse. Creators and publishers, they're always chasing like the mainstream audience, and they kind of do so at the expense of the hardcore fans. Now, you know, obviously I want comics to thrive and I want as many people to read comics as possible. But I feel like it's kind of a fool's errand to chase the mainstream at the expense of the hardcore fans. And, you know, these are mistakes that Marvel and DC have been making for the last few years. And it's led to, you know, declining sales and all that. And I feel like, you know, for lack of a better term, screwing over the people who supported the campaign originally in the hopes that they'll have this, you know, huge mainstream Walmart audience. I don't think that the audience is necessarily going to be there. I hope I'm wrong, but you know.
What's really interesting because the titles, the stories that they picked, you can kind of like imagine the corporate synergy that goes into that. You know, Cyborg USA would not be appropriate for that rack. You know what I mean? Because it would be misleading. Kids would get it and think it was like a kid's book, and it's not really a kid's book. But one of the things that they did in those books is they used like Kelsey Shannon and Blake Northcott, who have like great, awesome reputations within Comicsgate, within the like group that you know, funded their projects. So I think that's the part where it might be bad business, where if they're establishing an audience and then turning off that audience, you know, that's the audience that like they kind of sold to Walmart that they have. So hopefully they are able to sell the books, you know.
Yeah, and I just I'm not sure how big of a deal impulse buys are. You know, that's been the argument, is because, you know, comics used to be on newsstands, they used to be at supermarkets, and you know, at the gas station, you could find comics anywhere. And then they kind of just got relegated to the comic book stores, and you don't see them in mainstream places. So the logic is that, well, if you're just at Walmart and you're shopping, and then look, a comic book, maybe I'll just buy that on impulse. I don't know. I mean, maybe, but it just long term, I think it was a bad decision. But I hope I'm wrong, not for, you know, their sake, but just for comics in general. You know, I want everybody to succeed, but I feel like it was a bad move.
Elasmat has a comment that, you know, it would have been rewarding if they acknowledged it as CG, you know, and I'm sure that was impossible or not a practical thing to do. Like I said, I think this is a success for them, and I want them to have this success. But there's like, with the timing of it, it seems like it's really cool. You know, like the stores are having trouble selling comics, and they're like the one place that is able to sell comics. But it's got all this sort of like, with all this stuff, as the industry changes, there's all this kind of like awkwardness and conflict about, like, you know, how people are, you know, getting funded or leading with their books. Oh shit, Joe King's here. Should we let him in? Should we let him in?
Hey, fashionably late.
I'm gonna let him in. We're 49 minutes in.
We're bringing in the writer and creator of Slaughter Squad. It's Joseph King, everybody.
You late, bro.
Yeah, I was doing some freelance work, and I kind of zoned out.
That's cool, man. We showed your video.
Oh, cool.
You know, my man Anton's got to go on the hour. So, do you want to talk about? I'll bring your.
I'm good. I can run long.
Oh, you can? Okay, I thought you had an appointment. All right. Well, I'll share the screen.
Robert, the most important thing I'm doing today is the Splendopia Hour live.
Well, of course, naturally.
Live
At least-
television, Rob. I can't jump off.
At least
There's
one
got-
person feels that way, Joe.
Well, you said I could. You weren't gonna have me on right away, and then I just kind of lost track.
I know. Dude, I'm seriously just fucking with you. It's all. It's just the internet, man. Who cares? Let's see.
We're just very excited to speak with you.
Yeah, it's gonna take me a minute to get your thing up. Well, what do you want to see? I was gonna call up your preview page, but we already watched that video, so maybe you can talk. Maybe you could talk about Slaughter Squad, or maybe you could screen share some of the work you've been doing, because I've seen that on your channel too.
Yeah. Let me see. I'll bring it up. Just go to beefybull.com.
Did you vote? Is that what your website is now?
Yeah.
No, Adam Post was making you buy domains. Yeah, well, I've got your relaunch page.
Oh, you've got Joe backstage.
Surprised that domain.
Oh no, is he
already
gone?
taken.
He disappeared.
We lost Joe. I was very excited to talk to him. My grandparents had a slaughterhouse, so I'm very interested to speak with him about this.
I wonder if he tried to put his screen up and then
To show
I've
something.
done that before. Yeah,
Hmm.
accidentally kick yourself out.
He said, I'm
Joe.
Beaver King from beefybull.com, everybody.
Today's not my day.
Here, let me try it. Can you share your screen? Do you know how to do that?
Yeah.
I'm gonna remove my screen.
Oh, do you want to see I'll show you what I've been working on. Here, let me
Cool.
bring up.
And do you know when you're gonna launch? I know it's gonna be May, but do you know what your day is?
I haven't like set an exact date. I'm maybe the very last day of May. We'll see where I'm at.
So for Cyborg USA, I initially was going to launch it in January of 2019, and then my wife's sister died, and then
oh man,
then there were months that went by that my partner wasn't able to work on it, and I was going to launch it in July. I was going to launch it on the 4th of July, and then a bunch of other things fell apart, and here we are.
that's rough.
Well, just to say, things don't always work out.
Yeah, I'm giving myself a little wiggle room.
Rob, I'm gonna do what you did. With my first book, The Abductables, I closed the campaign out before we fulfilled.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems like I see a lot, like your campaign and a lot of others have a lot of success keeping the in-demand store open as you fulfill, because people see other people getting the books and they want to get a copy. So that seems like the way to go.
Well, that's what we were hoping and expecting was going to happen. Of course, then I get in a fight with John Malin and all hell breaks loose. So,
That had to have boosted sales, though.
I mean, it did, but it I don't know. It still sucks. I think it sucks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I wanted people to be boosting sales because they were reading the book and saying it was awesome, not because, somebody called me a cunt on YouTube, So
I feel like the jury's still out on, I'm a big pro wrestling fan, so the adage there is controversy creates cash. I don't know if that works with comics or not. If it was like a surefire thing, I'd be picking fights with people every other day. But I'm still not, I'm not sure.
Well, believe me, my wife was like, oh man, you should start some more fights now.
I mean, if it was guaranteed, controversy, boost sales, I'd be like a pro wrestling heel. I'd be cutting promos on everybody and calling everybody out. But
I mean, I think the thing about it is though, is the main thing is you have to be yourself. People lose confidence in you as a crowdfunder if you're if you're an unreliable character.
Yeah, you got to be authentic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, people can sniff that out right away.
Yeah.
That fake stuff.
I agree.
Authenticity is key.
So I think I got you to share screen. Are we gonna?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right.
Hey, Delta Spirit Force is calling me out in the chat. Not a furry comic. It's not a furry comic.
There we go. Okay, I think I got it. There we go. Rock and roll.
Boom. Yeah, here's the cover.
Great.
Thanks. I did the lines, and then Steve Cannon did the colors. I'm going to color the rest of the book. We got Kilgore up front. We got his buddy Willard the pig. We got Daisy the cow. We got Rosemary the chicken with the dual wielding the Uzis. And then we got Thunder Sparkle the horse chilling in the back.
Thunder Sparkle is a mare or a it's a colt or a
I guess he's intact. I don't know.
Oh, gotcha.
Let me ask you something. Is the revenge plot that he's on, like the revenge drive, is there more to it than just like than just man's consumption of meat?
Well, it starts off as just like he just wants to kill people because he's angry, but then it sort of evolves into he wants to build like a society. He wants to he turns into like a revolutionary. He wants to build this a place free from carnivores. So he starts gathering all these animals together, sort of inspired by Animal Farm or something.
Mm-hmm.
It's like Animal Farm with machine guns.
Yeah, it's like
Haight Ashbury in San Francisco. Nobody eats meat out there.
It's like Animal Farm if they cast Arnold Schwarzenegger in the lead.
Yes, exactly. Well, they don't like San Francisco either because PETA is like they're a little shady.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
Did you just dox yourself, Anton? Anton, you're on the left coast out there.
With Joseph King.
Yeah, I'm over here in LA, so.
With Joseph King.
I'm in the southern part though. I work in Hollywood.
Beach is closed. LA beach is closed.
Yeah.
What gave the livestock their power? What changed them?
I don't think I'll really explain it too much in the book. It's sort of like Looney Tunes. Like for some reason, Mickey can stand on two legs, but his dog Pluto doesn't. There's no real rhyme or reason. But yeah, and I kind of like the way I think about it is like some animals are just blue pilled and they're just doomed to be sheep cattle for the rest of their lives. There's no saving them.
Yep.
And then some animals wake up and take up arms.
Yeah, I mean, even in Animal Farm, they never really explain why the animals could like talk. It's just
yeah, like I could go in like maybe an asteroid hit, and then like all of a sudden animals start, some radiation makes them become super intelligent. But I don't think I'll like get into it or explain it. I'll just leave it at that.
That's great.
Did you guys hear those animals talking? I got the Canada geese over here. Jobbing away.
Nice.
You think they're in support of the Slaughter Squad, Robert?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. The Slaughter Squad is like the A team that they would call in, like at Thanksgiving,
right? When they're like, they're going to grab those ducks, shove that feeding tube, create some foie gras. They're going to call Slaughter Squad.
Are you going to have like a villain who's like the guy from No Country for Old Men who wielded like the pneumatic thing? Yeah, where the thing that they put up against their head, like the little bolt that they shoot in that'd be a good weapon for like a.
I haven't worked it in yet. So far, there's been like a meat saw, bandsaw, and I haven't worked that captive bolt gun into the story yet. But maybe the next volume. So we got a bullfighter. We got a matador. So there's two stories in this book. The first story is out of the frying pan into the meat grinder, and they're rescuing some animals from a farm, and then there's a giant like slaughter bot that tries to stop them, and so they fight this robot. And then the second story, they steal a bunch of guns from a drug cartel, and then they hire a matador to like get the guns back. And then he like kidnaps Daisy the cow and ties her up, and he has to Kilgore has to show up with the guns, unarmed. You got to give up the guns to get Daisy back.
Nice.
Awesome.
Yeah, I got some pages here.
Yeah.
This is a nightmare sequence.
A Kilgore nightmare.
So good.
Yeah, this giant pair of shears. That's how he lost his balls.
Oh man.
And he has he never actually met his parents, so they just appear like shadows.
Wow.
And they get, and then sort of goes to like a Hellraiser kind of reference. The chains just come out and tear him up.
No wonder he wants revenge. They freaking castrated him.
Yeah. Oh, and this is like the main villain, Mr. Evil. He's the governor of Texas.
In the video.
What's
right?
up?
We saw him in the video, I think, right, Joseph?
Yeah. He shows up in the end, and he's like the big bad guy. He's like the kingpin. He's pulling all the strings.
I like that move. I like that move in the trailer when you cut to him. He takes you deeper into the conflict.
He's like, somebody better get that bull.
Yeah, he's messing up his business, man.
Right.
So he's the governor, but he also owns like a bunch of businesses, and he's like invested in all these companies.
Of course.
I love the governor of Texas as an evil character. It's set in today? Today's the 2020 modern day.
Yeah, it's sort of, I don't really.
We don't really cover that.
It's not specific, but it's sort of like vaguely current.
Well, they're talking about like there's like meat shortages now or something, so that ties in. There you go.
Oh. And there's their plan.
Like in my head, I'm kind of thinking maybe this is like 10 or 20 years in the future, and this is going to like coincide with like the total collapse of the U.S. government, and it's going to become like
you're talking like 8. You're talking like 8 months, man.
Well, originally I was thinking 2030, but now the beer flu has kind of accelerated things.
I'll say.
So this is his bedroom.
Nice.
How does he lift those kettlebells?
Oh, sometimes he has opposable thumbs, sometimes he doesn't. It just depends.
I guess that's true for the machine gun. He would need.
Yeah. If let's see, I skip ahead. Yeah, so there he has opposable thumbs. I just switch it for the purpose of the gag,
Yep.
Totally.
And that's the slaughter bot. It's a trap.
This seems just like comic book fun for the sake of comic book fun.
Yeah, totally. I'm having a blast making this book.
Yeah,
I like how the art style is like a perfect, like it looks like stills from like the animation almost, like the style between the animation and the comic, like they look like identical. Like it really carries over well.
Yeah. I was actually I made it look a little better. Like there's more shading on here. Like to animate this would be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, Joseph, Rob said that you actually are an animator. Did the animation on that video too, or?
Yeah, I've been doing animation for almost 12 years now. I've been working in Hollywood. I worked on a show you might have heard of, Rick and Morty.
Yeah.
I worked on season 3, and then I worked on Final Space and a bunch of other shows you never heard of.
Well, that's interesting. Rick and Morty is a funny one.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's kind of polarizing. Some people love it, some people hate it.
Right.
But it's got some really funny moments, some really good stuff. The fans can be kind of.
I don't care who disagrees with me.
Fans kind of get out of control, though.
Oh, Rob, you're getting called out on the chat for wearing pajama pants.
I know. I shouldn't have crossed my legs.
Wow.
God damn it.
It's okay. The stogie balances it out.
Does it?
The host of the show too.
Yeah, it's embarrassing. Well, I was disappointed when you canceled this the first time. I'm glad you're like going on it. I'm glad it's going to pop up soon. I hope like everybody backs it. I'm really excited about it. It looks like super fun to me. So
yeah, I think you know, it was a good learning experience, and this time around getting more signups. I think I've doubled the signups, so it's I have a good feeling about this. I think it's gonna work out this time.
We'll keep doing your streams and keep spreading the word, and I'll keep spreading the word for you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I really appreciate it.
Yeah,
appreciate all the support.
I was saying earlier that I feel like the promo video, like that has to be a viral video. Like that's gonna go viral at some point. It just has to get in front of the right people at the right time. Like you know, that's like the perfect commercial for the comics. So I think once people pick up on that, it's gonna go places. So
fingers crossed.
Absolutely.
All right, Anton. I think that's time for us. Why don't we close this out?
That'll do it. Well, friends, thank you. What another great show. Before we go, we got to give a big thank you to Michael Derrick for telling us all about the King of Karma, Grayscale. Check him out on Cauldron Comics on Twitter. Joseph King, thank you for that twisted take on the Texas livestock scene, Slaughter Squad. And of course, a big thank you to that who makes it all possible, you, the audience. Now, you out there in TV land, head over to Indiegogo or visit the Splendopia page on Facebook. You can get the links to Joe's and Michael's projects right there. And also Cyborg USA. I'm Anton Belvedere. And for Rob Casey, we've got to ask you, who has more fun than we do? We'll see you next time on the Splendopia Hour, live.
Loving the energy.